Family, you are not going to believe this one. The hip-hop world just witnessed one of the most chaotic, jaw-dropping moments of the year, and it all went down in public with cameras rolling. Papoose, the man known for his loyalty, his composure, and his legacy as Remy Ma's husband, was blindsided in broad daylight when Tony Rich Claressa Shields' fiancé attacked him in front of a stunned crowd. This wasn't some quiet dispute. No, this was a full-blown explosion of fists, screaming, and chaos as fans watched in disbelief, phones flying into the air capturing every second. And what started as a heated argument quickly spiraled into a scene that no one could control, with Claressa's name being shouted, insults being hurled, and the hip-hop community instantly set on fire. But here's the kicker. Insiders are already saying this fight wasn't just about a misunderstanding. No, this was years of tension, secrets, and betrayal finally boiling over into the open. And now, the receipts, the leaked DMs, and the accusations are starting to surface, making it clear that this feud is deeper, darker, and way more personal than anyone expected. So what really triggered Tony Rich to come for Papoose so publicly? And why is Claressa at the center of this shocking brawl? Stay tuned, because the truth will leave you speechless. Before we dive into the madness of fists flying and crowds screaming, let's rewind and set the stage, because this fight didn't just come out of nowhere. No, family, this was years in the making. To understand why Tony Rich went straight for Papoose in public, you have to understand the tangled, messy history that links Claressa Shields, Papoose, and even Remy Ma together. Let's start with Papoose. For decades, he's been the symbol of loyalty in hip-hop, the man who stood by Remy Ma through her darkest days in prison, building a reputation as the hip-hop husband of the century. But behind that loyalty, insiders have whispered for months about cracks in the armor, private tensions, late-night arguments, and whispers of outside relationships that could shatter his image. Enter Claressa Shields, the undefeated boxing champion, unapologetic, brash, and unafraid to step into any ring, whether it's in sports or drama. Her engagement to Tony Rich was supposed to be the fairy tale ending after years of fighting for respect. But instead, it opened the door to chaos, because almost immediately after their relationship went public, rumors started spreading about Claressa and Papoose exchanging more than just friendly words. And while Remy Ma stayed quiet, fans noticed the tension. Claressa dropping cryptic posts, Papoose showing up at events where Claressa just happened to be. And Tony Rich? He wasn't having it. Behind closed doors, he reportedly warned Papoose to stay in his lane and keep his distance. But if you know hip-hop, you know those warnings never stay private, and soon, social media was flooded with memes, side-eye commentary, and messy speculation. But here's where it gets worse. Leaked DMs started surfacing earlier this year. Screenshots supposedly showing Claressa venting to Papoose about her frustrations with Tony. Messages with heart emojis. Late-night timestamps. Nothing was confirmed, but the timing alone was enough to ignite speculation that something inappropriate was going on. Papoose, of course, denied it. Claressa brushed it off as fake news. But Tony Rich, he didn't buy it for 1 second. Fast forward to last week, the hip-hop scene was buzzing after Tony reportedly found something on Claressa's phone. Sources close to the couple claim he stumbled upon private messages between Claressa and Papoose that crossed a line. Some say it was innocent. Others claim it was downright incriminating. Either way, it lit a fire under Tony Rich that couldn't be contained. And so, the stage was set. The whispers, the tension, the leaked messages, all of it boiling to a head. Which brings us to that fateful day when Tony and Papoose crossed paths in public. It was supposed to be a casual event, a low-key industry mixer where artists, managers, and promoters came together. Nobody expected chaos. Nobody expected violence. But when Tony spotted Papoose, everything exploded. Witnesses say Tony walked straight across the floor, eyes locked, fists clenched. And the moment Papoose tried to brush him off, boom, the attack began. Now here's the chilling part. The crowd's screams weren't just about the fight. They were about the words exchanged. Witnesses swear Tony shouted Claressa's name mid-fight, accusing Papoose of crossing boundaries that should never have been crossed. Cameras caught pieces of it, but the full truth of what was said, still blurry, still unclear, and still fueling speculation online. And let me tell you this, the hip-hop world is already choosing sides. But the real question is, was this fight really about Claressa and Papoose? Or was there something even darker behind Tony Rich's public explosion? Because what happened next, well, let's just say it turned this brawl into something far bigger than anyone expected. The tension in that crowded venue was so thick, you could cut it with a knife. Picture this. Flashing lights, music thumping through the speakers, people networking, laughing, sipping drinks, and then suddenly, all eyes shift as Tony Rich storms through the crowd like a man on a mission. Witnesses say Tony's face was twisted with rage, veins popping in his neck, fists clenched so tight his knuckles were turning white. He wasn't there to talk. He wasn't there to negotiate. He was there to make a point, and that point was Papoose. The moment their eyes locked, the energy shifted. People nearby swear they felt it. Some even started pulling out their phones because they knew something was about to go down. Papoose, calm as ever, leaned back with that trademark smirk, like he had no worries in the world. But Tony, he lunged forward. "Stay away from Claressa," Tony roared, his voice cutting through the music like a blade. The DJ dropped the volume instantly, the beat fading into silence as the crowd froze. And before Papoose could even react, Tony swung a hard right hook that grazed Papoose's jaw and sent drinks crashing to the floor. The room erupted. People screamed. Phones flew up in the air, recording every second. Security started rushing, but by then it was already too late. Papoose, shocked but not one to back down, came back swinging. Tables flipped, chairs scattered. It was no longer an argument, it was a full-blown street fight in the middle of a supposedly classy event. And here's the kicker, it wasn't just fists flying. It was words. As Tony shoved Papoose back, he shouted for everyone to hear, "I saw the messages. I know what you did." The crowd gasped. WHAT messages. WHAT did Papoose supposedly do? Suddenly, this wasn't just a fight. It was a scandal unfolding in real time. Papoose tried to push Tony off, yelling back, "You don't know what you're talking about." But his voice cracked, and the crowd picked up on it. People were whispering, "Wait, what did he mean? Is this about Claressa?" Security finally got in between them, but Tony was relentless. He kept shouting, red-faced and furious, "You crossed the line. Don't act innocent in front of all these people. Everybody's about to know the truth." And just like that, the whispers turned into a storm. The videos hit social media within minutes. Clips of Tony swinging on Papoose. Clips of the accusations flying. Hashtags like hashtag Papoose exposed, hashtag Tony versus Papoose, and hashtag Claressa drama started trending worldwide. Fans were dissecting every word Tony shouted, trying to piece together what messages he was talking about. Here's where the twist comes in. Not even an hour later, a leaked screenshot hit Twitter. A blurry DM thread allegedly between Claressa and Papoose, time-stamped at 2 a.m. just a few weeks ago. The messages showed Claressa venting about Tony, saying things like, "He doesn't understand me and I feel like you're the only one I can talk to." And Papoose? His replies were just as messy. "You know I'll always be here for you," followed by a string of heart emojis. Fans went wild. Some said it was fake. Others swore it looked legit. But the damage was done. Suddenly, Tony's accusations didn't sound so far-fetched. Suddenly, this wasn't just a jealous fiend lashing out, it was a man who might have just uncovered the ugly truth. Claressa tried to stay silent, but that silence only made things worse. And Papoose? He posted a cryptic Instagram story later that night. A black screen with the words, "People will believe anything," but instead of calming the storm, it poured gasoline on the fire. By the next morning, TMZ, The Shade Room, and every gossip outlet had the footage plastered across their pages. Headlines screamed, "Tony Rich confronts Papoose over alleged affair with Claressa Shields, chaos ensues." And just when people thought they'd seen it all, insiders started whispering something even crazier. Apparently, Tony wasn't just furious about private DMs. He allegedly had audio recordings, late-night phone calls between Claressa and Papoose, where their friendship sounded a little too intimate. The question is, are those recordings real? And if so, what do they reveal? Because if Tony's holding on to proof, this fight wasn't just the beginning. It was the spark that could burn down Papoose's entire reputation and family. The next twist. It's about to take this from messy to catastrophic. The night after the brawl, the internet wasn't sleeping. Clips of the fight had already racked up millions of views. But just when people thought they'd seen the worst of it, Tony Rich went nuclear. At exactly 9 o'clock a.m., he posted a cryptic Instagram story. A black background. 3 words written in bold red letters: check the tapes. No explanation. No context. Just that. Within minutes, blogs were in a frenzy. What tapes? What proof? Was Tony bluffing? Or was he about to end Papoose's career once and for all? Hours later, the answer dropped like a bomb. An anonymous Twitter account, allegedly connected to someone in Tony's circle, leaked a 2-minute audio clip. The voices were faint at first, but as listeners turned up the volume, chills ran down their spines. It was Claressa Shields' unmistakable voice, whispering, "I don't even care if Tony finds out anymore. You're the one I trust. You're the one I feel safe with." Then came the voice that froze everyone in their tracks. Papoose. Calm, collected, but with a softness people weren't used to hearing. "I told you. You ain't gotta worry about nothing. I'll keep this between us. Always." The internet exploded. Fans went berserk. Thousands of tweets in real time. Wait, is that really Papoose? I'm sick. Not Remy Mosman doing this with Claressa. Tony wasn't lying. He had the receipts. The hashtags multiplied. Hashtag Papoose cheating trended alongside hashtag Claressa's agate. Memes flooded Instagram, pictures of Remy Ma looking furious, Tony Rich looking betrayed, and Papoose looking guilty. The Shade Room's comment section turned into a digital war zone. And here's where the reveal got even messier, because insiders weren't done talking. One alleged industry source told Hollywood Unlocked, "That clip ain't even the worst of it. Tony's sitting on hours of calls. If he lets them all out, careers are done. Period." Fans started piecing together timelines. They remembered that mysterious weekend when Claressa skipped a public appearance, and rumors swirled that she was in New York. They remembered how Papoose was suddenly spotted at a charity event without Remy. Suddenly, every little detail looked suspicious, but the drama didn't stop there. Because Remy Ma herself, the queen of Bronx resilience, posted something that shook the culture. A single picture on her Instagram. A chessboard mid-game. With the caption, "Queens never fall for pawns." The post had no names, no direct callouts. But the timing? The symbolism? Fans went insane. People interpreted it as a clear shot at both Claressa and Papoose. Remy was reminding the world she was 10 steps ahead. Still, the streets were talking. And Tony? He wasn't backing down. At a press run that same day, he told reporters straight up, "You don't mess with my family. You don't mess with my fiancé." Papoose crossed the line. "I warned him once. Now everybody's gonna see who he really is." And then came the bombshell. Just as the internet was debating whether the audio was edited, TMZ reported that Tony's legal team was preparing to sue Papoose for emotional damages and public humiliation. The lawsuit allegedly claimed Papoose engaged in intentional infliction of emotional distress and intrusion into personal relationships. This was no longer gossip. This was about to be a courtroom showdown. But here's the shocking twist nobody saw coming. While Tony was blasting Papoose in public, another insider leak hit Twitter. This one alleged that Claressa wasn't as innocent as she appeared because she was the one who first slid into Papoose's DMs. Screenshots showed her writing things like, "I can't stop thinking about that convo we had, and don't tell Remy." The internet split in half. Some sided with Tony, praising him for defending his relationship. Others dragged Claressa for crossing boundaries. And Papoose? He was caught in the middle, painted as both the villain and the victim. But here's the most shocking part. Whispers started spreading that this wasn't the first time Papoose had been linked to drama like this. Old rumors resurfaced, Old blogs re-uploaded dusty posts about mystery women tied to him in the past. Suddenly, the perfect image of Papoose' loyal husband, devoted father, hip-hop's last faithful man was shattering in front of our eyes. And then, late at night, Tony dropped a tweet that sent shivers across the culture. Tonight was just a trailer. The full movie drops soon. Fans were convinced more audio was coming. Maybe even videos. Maybe proof so damaging that Remy herself would be forced to step in publicly. The drama was no longer just messy. It was historic. A public fight. Leaked DMs, audio tapes, lawsuits, and social media chaos, and yet everyone knew the worst was still to come. Because if Tony really had more evidence, then the next release wouldn't just destroy Papoose's reputation, it might break apart his entire marriage to Remy Ma. And the question now hanging over the industry was simple but chilling. Would Remy Ma defend her husband, or leave him standing alone in the fire? By now, the internet was on fire. Every platform, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, was flooded with footage of Tony Rich lunging at Papoose, the leaked audio, and Remy Ma's cryptic chessboard post. And while fans were already divided, the reactions from the hip-hop industry took the chaos to a whole new level. On Twitter, Cardi B couldn't resist. She tweeted, "Man, I told you all these men ain't saints. No names, no tags." But everybody knew who she was talking about. The comments section exploded. One fan wrote, "Cardi throwing shade at Pap? Or Claressa? Either way, she messy for this." Meanwhile, Fat Joe, who's always been close with Remy Ma, went on IG Live. His face was tight, his voice stern. "Look, I ain't gonna speak too much on this, but real talk, when the street's talking this heavy, somebody gotta clear the air. Silence makes it worse." That single statement had fans speculating that even Fat Joe doubted Papoose's innocence. And then 50 Cent. Oh, 50 couldn't stay quiet. He posted a meme of a man running with boxing gloves and captioned it, "Pap got smoked by Claressa's man in 4,000. That post alone got nearly 1 million likes in less than a day, but industry insiders weren't just laughing. They were worried. Because the audio leak and lawsuit hinted at something much bigger. Legal battles, endorsements being pulled, and reputations being shredded in real time. Reporters claimed that a luxury brand Papoose had partnered with quietly pulled his face from their promotional website hours after the fight video went viral. The optics of him being involved in both a street fight and an alleged affair with an engaged woman, corporate suicide, and the fans. Oh, the fans were ruthless. Hashtags like #Team Remy, #Team Tony, and #Papoose Exposed dominated Twitter. TikTok edits showed side-by-side clips of Remy rapping about loyalty and then spliced with Claressa's leaked audio, racking up millions of views in hours. One viral TikTok showed fans chanting outside a club, "Free Remy, dump Pap." The video caught fire, sparking debates across YouTube panels, podcasts, and even radio shows. The divide was clear. Team Remy and Tony supporters said Papoose had finally been exposed and deserved every ounce of backlash. Papoose defenders argued the audio was doctored, claiming Tony Rich was desperate for clout and trying to frame him. Neutral observers just wanted more leaks, calling this the greatest hip-hop soap opera of the decade. Meanwhile, Claressa herself was taking heat. Some fans defended her, saying Tony was being controlling. Others dragged her, calling her a homewrecker. One brutal tweet read, "Sis, you're supposed to be fighting in the ring, not fighting for somebody's husband." And then came the biggest shocker from the industry. A bet producer anonymously leaked that executives were in emergency talks about cutting Papoose from an upcoming hip-hop docuseries. Why? They didn't want the show to get overshadowed by the scandal. The producer reportedly said, "The network doesn't want this mess attached to their brand. It's too volatile, too unpredictable." But while Papoose was losing gigs, Tony Rich was gaining support. Boxers, athletes, and even rappers rallied behind him, praising him for standing up for himself. One boxing legend tweeted, "Tony did what any man would do. Respect." Still, Not everyone was buying Tony's narrative. A few bloggers pointed out that if Tony really had all these tapes, why hadn't he dropped them already? Why tease and stall? Some speculated he was bluffing, playing the internet for attention, but Tony's chilling tweet trailer, full movie coming soon, kept people glued to their screens. And just when the noise was at its peak, Remy Ma posted again. This time, it wasn't subtle. She uploaded a video of herself in the studio, headphones on, laying down bars. The caption? Cooking. Fans went wild. Was Remy about to diss Claressa? Tony? Papoose himself? The anticipation was suffocating. The public reaction had officially turned into a circus. Every celebrity take, every fan theory, every cryptic post added fuel to the fire. And the question that kept everyone awake was simple. If Remy Ma really drops a diss track, who is she aiming at? And whose career will she destroy? Just when the chaos felt like it couldn't spiral any further, the ultimate bombshell dropped, and it didn't come from Tony Rich, Claressa, or even Remy Ma. It came from a mysterious anonymous account that uploaded a file labeled Pap Exposed Part 2 Uncut. The file spread like wildfire in underground hip-hop forums before being screen-recorded and plastered across Twitter and TikTok. And what was inside? A second audio clip. But this time, the voice wasn't just Papoose. It was Remy Ma. In the clip, a woman sounding eerily like Remy could be heard screaming, "You embarrassed me. After everything I gave up for you, this is how you repay me." With Claressa, the alleged Papoose voice fired back. "It wasn't like that, Remy. You don't understand. Claressa needed me. She wasn't getting it from Tony. She wasn't getting it from nobody." The internet froze. If the audio was real, it confirmed everything that Papoose did cross the line with Claressa, and that Remy found out long before the public did. But here's where the twist got darker. Fans noticed something chilling. In the background of the clip, you could hear faint ring announcer audio, the exact same one from Claressa Shields' last televised boxing match. This meant one terrifying thing. The confrontation didn't happen months ago, or behind closed doors. It allegedly happened right before Claressa's fight. Imagine it, Remy and Papoose arguing about betrayal while Claressa was literally preparing to step into the ring. The betrayal, the tension, the stakes. It was cinematic. But the real kicker, minutes after this clip started trending, Tony Rich went live again. He was pacing, sweaty, clearly furious, and he dropped the line that sent everyone spiraling. "That wasn't me who leaked that, but I know who did. Y'all not ready for the truth." The comments section went ballistic. Fans begged him to spill. Some accused him of planting it. Others speculated that it was someone from Remy's own camp, finally tired of staying silent. Meanwhile, industry insiders whispered that the anonymous account that leaked the clip had ties to an East Coast PR firm known for handling celebrity image cleanups. Could it be that Remy herself leaked the argument to prove she was the victim and not the betrayer? Papoose, on the other hand, stayed dead silent. No tweets, no posts, nothing. His Instagram activity flatlined, which only made fans more suspicious. One fan wrote, "The silence is louder than the music. Man guilty as hell." But then came the final twist of the night. Out of nowhere, Claressa Shields posted to her Instagram story a simple black screen with white letters, "I'm done protecting people. The world about to know everything." And she added 3 bomb emojis. The crowd went insane. Was Claressa about to confirm the affair? Was she going to expose Remy? Or even crazier, was she going to release her own tapes that tied everything together? Every outlet scrambled. TMZ, Shade Room, Hot New Hip Hop, all running with headlines like "Claressa ready to burn it all down" and "Remy and Papoose marriage in jeopardy." And the scariest part? None of them knew WHO Claressa was about to expose first. Would she go after Papoose, proving Tony right all along? Would she drag Remy into the mud for trying to spin the narrative? Or was Tony Rich about to be blindsided by his fiancée admitting she never wanted him in the first place? The fight outside the club was explosive. But this was nuclear. Because one thing was now crystal clear. The war wasn't over. In fact, it hadn't even started yet. The question that hung in the air, haunting everyone who saw those posts, was simple but terrifying. When Claressa finally speaks, whose career, whose marriage, whose life will be left in ashes? And there, you have it. Absolute madness. A public brawl, leaked audio, an anonymous account dropping nuclear receipts, and now Claressa shields promising the world she's about to expose everything. This isn't just a love triangle anymore, this is a war zone, and we're all front row witnesses. But now, it's your turn to weigh in. Do you think Tony Rich was justified in putting hands on Papoose in public, or did he just make himself look insecure and reckless? Was Papoose really out of line with Claressa, or is this all smoke and mirrors to distract us from a deeper betrayal? And most importantly, what do you think Claressa is about to expose? Is she finally admitting something about her connection to Papoose? Or is she about to flip the whole script and drag Remy Ma into the dirt? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I need to see the theories, the conspiracies, and the predictions because this saga is not over. In fact, I have a feeling the next chapter is going to be even darker, even messier, and even more explosive than what we've already seen. If you made it this far, smash that like button to keep this story alive. Subscribe so you don't miss the next shocking update, and turn on your notifications because trust me, you won't want to be the last one to find out what Claressa drops next. The streets are talking, the fans are divided, and the receipts just keep piling up. Stay locked in because the next bombshell could drop at any second, and when it does, it might just end someone's career for good.